And here's another guy that constantly is in every video. I mean, just look at the title. Watch this. His desktop for normalish people. Well, first of all, normalish is not a word, but this is what I'm talking about. What does he mean by normal people? And he's talking about the setup over here, and he compares it to his setup. And the only difference really is that he buys products that are the most expensive. So if his monitors, they're almost $7,000 a piece. His chair, his gaming chair, or his sitting chair is over $2,000. Everything that he buys, it's not that it's, vastly greater. Like he has a Apple PC, but when you're talking about processing power and graphics, it's not the highest. It's not really a gaming, any modernized gaming system for this year could compete with that and even overshadow that. So it's not the greatest. Keep in mind, he's had this system for 6 years, but what he did is just buy the most expensive things at that time and this just kind of wing it out. And then whenever anything that ever came that was newer, for instance, like, headphones or a camera, just little things like that, microphones and few $100s, then he would upgrade that. But everything else, like the desk, he had to have one that cost $5,000 for a desk. And he'll come around and say, oh, well, just like what I said about the title, oh, it's for normalish people compared to his. There are only people that would say that, and that's basically like saying, oh, that's just for poor people. Just because he went out there and bought the most expensive item or category for each product and then says, for some reason it was great, and you have to remember. And if you look at what he wants to call, quote unquote, his company or his business isn't really anything what they try to say, a tech reviewer. And if you look at that, the majority of his money, and of course any influencer has a team around them that just edit and post content about products that are sent to them. Well, anybody can send you an Apple product. Anybody can send you a Samsung product, and all you have to do is review it. Meaning, usually, just read the specs, go through the specs, and then compare it to another device that is relatively the same in specs category, right? And then if you look through the business registry, you will see that it says revenue between 150 to 2.5 million. But you have to remember, when you have 6 employees, you have to pay them. And none of them are going to work for, especially in California. And you have to remember, it's just as any influencer or a YouTuber, he's not an engineer. He's not in any kind of computer science. He's not in any type of software, or he worked for a company prior to this. All he did was start a YouTube channel and post about what we call phone reviews or product reviews and tech reviews, which is just literally having a product and then talking about it, which anybody can do. And just like this, if you saw this, you would just say the name of the monitor, the brand of the monitor, what the specs are, which they'll give you a sheet. It's always on a paper, printed by the company. You read the specs, tell them if you like it or not, your opinion, which it really doesn't matter, because he's not anything more than, he was not even a journalist. He's not in any position. But if you watch his video, he's egotistical, arrogant, narcissist. And these are the people that should never have a platform on social media, because they do nothing but are greedy, selfish, have never posted anything about donations or volunteer work or helping a community. And easily you make videos and then have titles like, oh, this is a PC for normal-ish people. What you're trying to say is that this is for people that are average or broke, low income people. That's what you're trying to say. Because everything that you have here are just budget. That's what you were trying to say, is that if you have a monitor and it's the budget, right? The lowest price that they can find. And then you call it, oh, that's for normal people. And that's how he acts. That's the way he is. That's the way he carries himself. That's his character. And then a lot of times he lies. And Marcus is always one that lies about in every video for the last 10, 15 years. You know, he'll be sent some kind of headphones or a mouse to try or a keyboard. And he'll say, oh, well, a company sent me this. And really, if you look at the emails, his company has applied. And it's always through a media consulting where his team will reach out to a company and ask to review it. And basically have a company send it to his office. And remember, usually these are not sponsored. They're just given the product for him to review. And he'll review it. And the majority of time, depending on how he reviews it and what he says, they'll end up returning the product back. And it's more just like a demo. He's trying to make it seem like these large companies like Motorola, Apple, Samsung are giving him products. They're not giving him anything. His team reaches out and begs for these products so they can use them without paying for them and just test them out. And testing is just reading the specs. They don't actually test anything. They're not like some of these other engineers that will take them apart or do a deep dive or do any kind of lab testing. And if you look through every video, and I've been saying this since he started, it's all he thinks about. And you can see it in the video. He carries himself as, does this make me look rich? That's all. It's egotism, narcissistic, and posture syndrome.